Hello, I'm Jeff Phillips and welcome to Steelers Stadium for the Carlton Rugby League Grand Final to be played between Thirroul and Collegians, the defending Premier and the minor Premier. Joining me in the commentary position, former Dapto coach Alan Fitzgibbon. Alan, how do you see the game this afternoon?
Jeff, I think it's going to be a very, very tough encounter here at Steelers Stadium this afternoon. Thirroul's strength is definitely up front with their props Jones and Barton, but I think the issue could be decided between the halves in Guyatt and also Dean Jones from Thirroul.
Referee Alan Sercombe blows time on for the grand final for 1996, and Turner gets planned away and kicks the ball down deep into the Thirroul territory, and they get the ball out to about 10 metres from their own line. To the left-hand side they work it and get it up to about 15, maybe 20 metres out from their own line. Thirroul on the attack. They're defending the northern end of the ground, the Collegian side defending the southern end of the ground. And a beautiful day for football at Steelers Stadium. Very little breeze, neither side being affected really by the breeze. It seems to be blowing directly across the ground as Brett Jones goes forward for the Thirroul side. He gets tackled 18 metres short of the halfway line. There's the kick coming now from Troy Jones. He boots it right down and it's taken by fullback Eaton. He runs across field, gets up to his 40-metre line before he's eventually wrapped up and put away by Dean Jones. Scampering away from the dummy half position is Moat. He's caught 5 metres short of the halfway line. He gets the ball across to Basley. Basley gets over the halfway line before he's accommodated by the Thirroul players and put to ground. So Collegians into the territory of the Butchers at the northern end of the ground, looking to put the first points on the board as a big front rower Canavan. He goes forward on the fifth tackle, according to referee Alan Sercombe. It's the last call and the little kick comes from Guyatt. Goes down, it's taken by Taylor about 5 metres out from his own line, but the Thirroul defence is up there pretty quickly and put him away about 11 metres out from his own line.
Interesting start to this game. Both teams have worked their first set of 6 out very confidently, and just looking there at the Thirroul team, their forwards are going to play a dominant role here this afternoon.
There's a bit of a break now made down the left-hand flank too. I think you'll find it's McElhone, and he's caught with the ball. About 5 metres the Collegian side of halfway. He gets up and plays the ball. It comes across to Guyatt, to Perkis. He gets it away now. Running across field now is Starling, and Starling is caught with the ball. Can he get it away? Yes, he does get it away. Eventually it's to Taylor. Taylor gets up to the 40-metre line, over the 40-metre line before he's wrapped up and put away in a good tackle by the Collegians defence in the shape of Cano. Here's the big front row forward. Barton now. Barton on the fifth tackle, 21 metres away from the goal line at the southern end of the ground. They decide to come to the blind side. Sergeant Wilson kicks the ball high in the air, racing forward and taking it beautifully. Or is it a try? No, it's being taken by Moat, and Moat's going to be caught. No, he passes the ball in his own in-goal area. And it's going to be a goal line dropout as Collegians are caught with the ball at the southern end of the ground. First attacking movement of the day. There's the goal line dropout now. It's coming down Starling's way. He picks it up 30 metres out. He runs to the 20-metre line, gets to the 20-metre line, and he's flung to the ground by his opposite number, White. He's up quickly to play it from air, and there's going to be a knock-on apparently ruled in that particular play. The ball by referee Alan Sercombe. Collegians now trying to bring the ball out from their own 20-metre line as Cattle goes forward. He only makes about 5 or 6 metres before a great tackle by Brett Jones puts him on the ground. He goes White. He makes another 5 or 6 metres and he's caught 15 metres short of the halfway line. They work it to the right-hand side. The big front rower, Basley. He goes forward and 9 metres short of the halfway line. He's dropped to the ground. A couple of tackles remaining for the Collie Dogs. They spin it wide across the back line. It comes out now to Turner. Turner's got nowhere to go, so he decides to put the ball in the air and reef it downfield. It's going to be picked up there eventually by Taylor, 30 metres out from his own line. Gets round one, gets round two. He's up to the halfway line, and a great run by the fullback, Mark Taylor, for the Thirroul side. Into the dummy half position goes Dean Jones. They work it to the left-hand side, and that's Gross who's going forward. He gets it about 6 or 7 metres, the Collegian side of halfway. Troy Jones into dummy half. They work it to the left-hand side, and it's Pickles with the ball. But he's caught right on the 40-metre line. He gets up to play the ball now. Looking to have a bit of a run there is Barton. That pass could have been forward, but the referee has allowed play to go on, and Thirroul get now to 35 metres away from the try line. Southern end of the ground, 2 more tackles remaining. There's the ball being flung out to the left-hand side. I think it's with Sergeant Wilson, and he's caught with the ball, and he's put on the ground. You get up and play the ball to the left-hand side they go, and there's the little kick through from Dean Jones, taking it. No, it could have been a knock on there. I think you'll find 6 tackles to go, says referee Alan Sercombe. So they get up and play the ball. The Thirroul Butchers now going on to the attack. He goes across now to Brett Jones, and Brett Jones offloads the ball, gets it back inside to Dean Jones, and Dean Jones is caught only 5 metres away from the try line. Here's pressure for the Collie Dogs as Thurul go on the attack through Gross, and Gross can't get the ball away, and he's caught still about 6 metres away from the try line. He gets up and plays the ball. Here's Sergeant Wilson. Sergeant Wilson going for the try line. He's over the try line, but he's run past the ball, and the ball has gone forward, so the scrum will be set. The loosen feed going the way of the Collie Dogs, 10 metres out from their own line. Basley, he runs forward, gets into the Thurul side by about 5 or 6 metres, and Thurul looking to defend grimly now. 0-all the score. About 6 or 7 minutes of play gone in the first half at Steelers Stadium as the Collie Dogs go on the attack, about 28 metres away from the try line. Cano into dummy half. He gets the ball out now to Guyatt. Guyatt to Turner. Turner looking to offload. He throws the long ball out there, and a great ball it is to the fullback, Eaton, who's chimed in. He's got the ball back on the inside again to Moat, and Moat is caught about 5 metres away from the try line. So now it's the Collie Dogs going on the attack, and here's the little halfback Guyatt, who's caught with the ball. Can he get the ball away? No, he can't get the ball away, and he's cream with the ball, and only about 3 metres out from the try line. Last tackle against the Collie Dogs. It comes now to Turner. He puts the kick in, and the ball has been knocked on by Collegians and also by Thurul. One of the linesmen has come in now to report something to referee Alan Sercombe. So from that indiscretion, a penalty has gone the way of the Collegian side. It's about 21 metres out, and here's the first chance of the afternoon for points to go on the board as Richard Turner, the 5'8" for the Collegian side, will attempt the penalty shot. So Richard Turner tries to put the first points of the board on the board for the afternoon, but it's waved away. It's gone to the right-hand side of the uprights and gone dead in goal. There's the drop kick taken by the Thurul side, picked up by Collegians, who get it back to the halfway line. First points of the board, or first points of the afternoon, could have gone on the board for the Collegian side, but unfortunately for them, the goal kick unsuccessful, but they have the ball, and they're about 9 metres into the territory of the Thurul Butchers as Krinkovic goes forward, and he's caught about 12 metres the Butchers side of halfway. He plays the ball. It comes out now to Basley, and Basley offloads the ball. He gets it back inside now to the hooker in Cano, and Cano goes forward, and he's caught about 28 metres away from the try line. To the right-hand side they go. It's now with the little halfback Guyatt who gets the ball away to Moat, and Moat is caught with the ball. Last tackle call against the Collegian side. It comes back again to Guyatt. Will he go to the air? Yes, he does. The kick is way across. Looks like he's going to go dead in goal. Will it go dead in goal? No, it hasn't gone dead in goal, and it's been forced to be picked up there by Starling, and Starling's going to be caught in the in-goal area. So a goal line dropout and more pressure coming for Thurul. Goal line dropout has now been taken. It's been taken by the fullback Eaton, and Eaton up over the 40-metre line. He runs to the first line of defence, and the first line of defence collars him and puts him down on the Thurul 30-metre line to the left-hand side, and Krinkovic goes straight up the middle, and he's caught in a good tackle by Pickles and put away on the 20-metre line. They work it to the left-hand side, thrown back inside to Canavan. Canavan, can he get the ball away? Yes, he can. Krinkovic goes across and picks the ball up. He's got players on the inside of him, but the ball was jolted from him, and a good tackle there by White. White had the ball knocked from his grasp, but I think you'll find that the Collegian side still in possession of the ball. Into the dummy half position goes Cano. He offloads the ball. It's out now with Cattle, and Cattle is caught with the ball 18 metres short of the try line. He works the ball on. Now there's going to be a knock on at the dummy half position there, so the scrum will be set. Scrum to be fed, and it's being won by the Thurul side through Dean Jones.
Dean Jones, I feel, is going to play a very important role here for his club today, as will Josh Guyatt from the Collegians team.
Here's McElhone with the ball. He's running down, and he's caught about 20 metres out from the Collegians goal line. He gets up to play the ball. It's with now McLean. McLean gets the ball away, and there's been another knock on. So a very scrappy start of the game, the grand final in Carlton League between Thurul and Collegians. Krinkovic comes forward. He runs straight into the forwards of the Thirroul side, and he's immediately put down. Running away from dummy half is Cano. Cano makes a bust, looking to offload the ball. He does so now. There's more support players in the name of Moat. Moat gets the ball away to another support player, and he's caught with the ball 28 metres away from the try line, northern end of the ground. The last tackle call against Collies. Edwards puts the little kick in. Here's danger for the Thirroul side. Will the ball go into touch? Oh, gee, that looked close too, so far as the Collegian side was concerned, because Perkis was racing through at 100 miles an hour. Air to the dummy half position. That ball did go forward as well, but the referee says allows play to go on, and Barton is caught with the ball 40 metres away from the try line. Here goes Dean Jones, puts the little kick through, racing through for it, but taking it brilliantly is Eaton about 15 metres out from his own line. Collegians now trying to work the ball away from their own line. A loose pass thrown back by Canavan, but it's eventually picked up. Now here's trouble for the Thirroul side. Racing down the wing is Sullivan. Sullivan gets up to the halfway line, over the halfway line before he's caught by Krinkovic. Goes out to Guy, to Turner. Turner gets the ball on now to Edwards, and Edwards is caught. He manages to get the ball away. Throws it back inside now to White, and White is caught with the ball about 20 metres away from the try line. Penalty. Another penalty. Not getting off the tackle player, according to referee Alan Circum. Richard Turner trying to put the first points of the afternoon on the board for the Collie Dogs. It looks good from here. The referee says yes. There's the restart from Taylor. Kicks the ball down deep into the Thirroul, into the Collegians half. And they get the ball to about 25 metres out before that particular player is caught and put down. Into the dummy half position goes Kano. He works it to the left-hand side, and running strongly is Edwards.
They've had a fair amount of possession, the Collegians team, and they've handled it reasonably well. They haven't tried to push the pass on occasions, and they've just gradually worked this bigger Thirroul team over. And by hanging on to the football somewhere down the line, that might make amends.
Well, there's an attempted field goal by Kano. It is successful, so there's another point that goes on the board for Collegians. There's the kickoff, eventually taken by Sullivan. Sullivan gets to the 20-metre line, and he's upended by his opposite number in Mack and driven into the ground. Collegians on the last tackle. Into dummy half goes Canavan. He gets the ball back now to Guyot, and Guyot puts the little kick in. Now it's being taken by Taylor. Now this is the first time Thirroul have had the ball in quite a while, but they're at the wrong end of the paddock so far as they're concerned, Alan.
It is, Jeff. We saw again there the Collegians team with the two-prong kicking option there, with Josh Guide, a very capable kicker, and also Turner. So they've got two options either side of the ruck, and that, I'm sure that has caused the Thirroul team some problems.
Well, if you have a look at the Thirroul team too, when they did get the ball, there are a lot of bunch players in Thirroul, no one running onto the ball, but here's a half break being made by the Thirroul side now, and a great run too by McLean, and he gets up to over the halfway line. Now Thirroul starting to storm onto the ball, gets it back out to Taylor, and Taylor is ankle tapped by his opposite number in Eaton and put to ground 25 metres away from the try line. Thirroul going right on the attack now. It's with loose passes being thrown by Dean Jones. It's gone into touch. Collegians win the scrum. Here's Eaton chiming in to make the extra man running across field. He's made the break, has the fullback Eaton. He serves the pass out now. It comes back inside to Moat. Moat going for the line, and he's caught by the Thirroul defence about 5 metres short of the line. Into the dummy half position goes Perkis. He whips the ball away now. Going hard for the line at the little halfback. He gets it out to Edwards. Edwards sights half a break, and he's caught by the Thirroul defence. Into the dummy half position goes Kano. Kano decides to put the little kick through again. It's well taken by Mack.
When you need a penalty, a minute before, 30 seconds before half-time.
So the last few seconds before half-time, can Thirroul get their first points on the board for this afternoon? They're caught with the ball, still 5 metres short of their half line. It goes across now to Barton running strongly. He gets up to the halfway line, but they're looking for some inspiration. Troy Jones with the ball. He sends it back inside now. It's been taken by Air, and Air loses the ball, but he gets it back to Troy Jones. Troy Jones sends it across now to Barton. Barton running forward, and Thirroul is caught with the ball. 35 metres out from the try line. The last few seconds of play in the first half. The Thirroul side looking to get points on the board. It comes back to the Thirroul side, but the knock-on had occurred there by Sergeant Wilson. So half-time at Steelers Stadium, and Collegians 3 leading Thirroul 0 in the Carlton Grand Final. underway in the second half at Steelers Stadium as Taylor kicks off, and it's immediately taken by Edwards, and Edwards a good run first up from the Collegians second rower. Interesting statistics from the first half, Alan.
Yes, Jeff, when you look at the stats in the first half, the rule have had to do an enormous amount of defending, and the scrums have also favoured Collies 8-5. But the interesting stat that has come out of it is the fact that the rule have had to come off their own try or out of their own in goal on 6 occasions in the first half. Great credit to Collegians' kicking game, but it's a very, very heavy stat against the Thurul team.
Up slowly to play the ball. It's with Brennan. Brennan throws the ball across to Edwards. Edwards sides half a gap, but it closes on him. Last tackle call against Collegian side. It comes back to Guyot. Will he go to the air? No, he won't. He gets it to Turner. Turner throws the ball out now to White. White gets the ball back inside to Moat going for the line, but he's caught in a good tackle. Try-saving tackle too by McElhone.
I felt that Moat should have offloaded the football, Jeff. He had a receiver left and right. The try was definitely on there. He had to release the ball.
It's with Sergeant Wilson. He kicks forward, looking for the favourable bounce, and the touch judges come in from the right-hand side, and I think you'll find this is going to be a penalty. So here's Taylor trying to put the first points of the afternoon on the board. So far as Thurul is concerned, not a problem at all. Between the uprights, the first points of the afternoon to Thurul. There's the restart in play now from Turner. There's 16 minutes of play remaining in the game. The grand final of the Carlton Illawarra Rugby League, and only a field goal in it. Collegians leading Thurul by 3 points to 2. Will that give the Thurul Butchers a little indication that they can get away with the game, Alan?
Well, Jeff, they're on the board. I think that's an important issue, and often when you get a couple of points on the board, it does make a difference to a team.
Guyot wins the scrum for the Collegian side. He runs round to the open side and he's immediately caught and put to ground. Sergeant Wilson noticed for Thurul Allen trying to get more involved in the game in the second half.
Well, he's definitely come into the game and looked to change the point of attack, which has been very, very good. But unfortunately, again, it's the control of possession, Jeff. You can't attack in any game without the football.
So here's Edwards off his right foot. He goes across field and he only makes it 2 or 3 metres before he succumbs to the tackle of the Thurul side. He gets up and plays the ball. Gets it back now to one of his support players who gets up over the 40-metre line, and he's put down. Collegians going onto the attack through Canavan. Canavan runs straight forward, but right around his legs is Troy Jones, centre field, 31 metres away from the try line, southern end of the ground. The clock ticks down now to 10 minutes left to go. The pass didn't come from young Guyot, and he's caught with the ball. Last tackle call against Collegians. Kano moves to dummy half. Thurul defence a little thin on the blind side. Kano runs that way. The ball with Rowan. He dummies on the inside, accelerates, races down the touchline, and will score. Rowan has scored for Collegians, and that will just about wrap up the grand final for the Collie Dogs. They lead the Butchers 7-2.
Well, Jeff, we've spoken about the control of possession. We saw the Collegians team then take the option to run the football on the last. They were able to do it and all revolved around Kano from the dummy half, getting down the short side, and he had the troops there. And as we said, I think that might be the try. It'll probably break the back of the Thurul defence, and we'll probably get Collegians home as a premise for 1996.
So here's Richard Turner with a 5-point lead already to Collegians. This could make it a 7-point lead and the ball game. Here's the kick coming, but it's gone to the left-hand side of the uprights. Collegians leading Thurul Butchers by 7-2. So there's the restart in play. Thurul kicking off, and they kick the ball down to about 15 metres out from the Collegians line. It's taken by Rowan, the try scorer. He runs to about 22 metres from his own line before the Butchers' defence comes and puts him to ground. Kano runs from the dummy half position, steps off his right foot, gets out to the 30-metre mark before he's collared by the Butchers' defence. Young Guyot moves to the dummy half position. Slow play the ball, moves it to the left now. So Collegians leading by 7 points to 2. They get the ball back to their 40-metre line through a good run from Brennan. He plays the ball. They work it to the right-hand side, and it's White who's drifting across field, and he's caught and buried in the Steelers Stadium dust 5 metres short of the halfway line. He's up quickly to play the ball to Kano, and Kano runs forward, and he's caught with the ball. Into the dummy half position goes Edwards. He fires the pass out now to Guyot. Guyot decides to play the ball down the other end of the field, and here's Sullivan steaming through on the ball too. It's been knocked backwards, has it? No, it's been knocked on.
That's an uncharacteristic error then from Mark Taylor.
So Collegians They win the scrum, 10 metres out. It comes to Turner. Turner runs across field. He's been one of the better players for Collegians this afternoon. He's been in the thick of it all. And 10 metres out, directly in front of the uprights. They work it to the left-hand side through Kano. And Kano is caught about 9 metres away from the try line. He works it to the left-hand side. And running from Guyot from the dummy half position is Guyot. And Guyot has scored a try for Collegians. Guyot is over from the dummy half position. And that'll be the ball game.
It's amazing what happens. Mistakes come in the game of rugby league right across the park from opening whistle to closing whistle. But gee whiz, they can be very, very costly. And we saw what happened. And the mistake come from the Thurul team. And straight away, second play off the scrum, third play off the scrum. Guy was able to weave his way directly underneath the defence and over the try line.
There's Glenn Turner looking to convert the try scored by Guyot. Unsuccessful, so the score remains at 11 points to 2. There's the kick-off by Thurul. It's immediately taken by Krinkovic, and Krinkovic is hit and put to ground about 30 metres out from his own line. There's the kick being put through there by one of the... there's a clash of heads there as well, but the Thurul players keep going on with the job now. There's a little bit of fire coming in so far as the Thurul players are concerned, especially from Pickles. But the Collegians get the ball 5 metres short of the halfway line. They get it back inside now to the big... centre three-quarter in white. He gets 5 metres over the Thurul side of halfway, gets it back to Canavan, and Canavan is caught and put down right on the 40-metre line at the Thurul end of the ground. It's the last tackle call against Collegians. There's about 4.5 minutes of play remaining. It goes to Guyot. He puts the kick in. Here's Taylor looking for it. He takes it this time. About 10 metres out from his own line, he runs forward, gets another 15 metres, and 25 metres away from his own line, he is tackled. It comes back now to McElhone, and McElhone, he makes another 5 or 6 metres before he goes down. 30 metres out from his own line, there's a ball going all right across the ground, and Barton with the ball. He throws it back. The Collegian side really up in the faces now of the Thurul side as Pickles is caught with the ball, and he goes to ground right on the 30-metre line. It's probably academical now whether Thurul are going to score any points this afternoon at all. There's a little kick through that's been picked up brilliantly there too by Krinkovic, and Krinkovic is caught with the ball. 31 metres away from the try line. He goes Cattle now. Cattle comes steaming forward over the 30-metre line. He goes before he's caught 28 metres away from the try line. Into the dummy half goes Cano. Cano goes for a field goal attempt, but has gone well wide to the right-hand side. Wastes a little bit more time. About 3 minutes of play remaining, we think, in the dying minutes of the grand final at Steelers Stadium. Thurul trailing by 11 points to 2. It's the Collie Dogs, and it's been all the Collie Dogs today. Their kicking game has been quite good, Alan.
Well, I think it's been probably the most important ingredient they've had all day, Jeff. I think both Turner and Guyot have kicked very, very well, especially this early part of the second half. Guyot's kicking game virtually forced Thurul to come right from their own in goal, and very rarely they got over halfway. And it made their big forwards work very, very hard, and I'm quite sure it burnt a lot of juice also.
And it was a particularly good kicking game in the first half too, as you mentioned. Just after half-time, 6 times Thurul had to come out from underneath their own uprights.
Well, that was enormous weight of possession that the Thurul team had against them. So it's a case now. Back here, Jeff.
Sullivan going for the try line, but the referee has called it back for a forward pass. A little bit of excitement here, a little bit of that excitement in the grand final between Collegians and Thurul. Dean Jones wins the scrum so far as Collegians are concerned. There's Sergeant Wilson. He gets the ball away, but immediately creamed as his support player. About 5 metres the Collegian side of halfway. Taylor into the fray. He gets the ball on now to a support player. It was Starling, and Starling got it away to Mack, and Mack was caught with the ball. He manages to get the ball away, and Thurul have got the ball to within about 25 metres of the try line. Slowly up to play the ball is Dean Jones. It comes across now, looking to offload the ball. Comes right out there, long pass out there to Sedgwick, and Sedgwick is caught and wrapped up with the ball 25 metres away from the try line. He gets up to play the ball. They work it to the blind side. It's with Dean Jones and a penalty. Inside the 10, or not getting off the tackle player against Collegians. There's the full-time siren ringing out in the background, but the penalty will have to be taken. Thurul are going to go down here this afternoon so far as the grand final is concerned. We have new premiers in the Carlton Illawarra Rugby League. Collegians 11, Thurul 2, and here's the final players. Thurul take the ball forward, so it's all over at Steelers Stadium. Full-time in the 1996 Rugby League grand final in Carlton Illawarra Rugby League. A win to the Collegians side over the defending premiers Thurul. Collegians today 11-2 winners over the Thurul Butchers. player of the grand final and captain of the victorious Collegian side, Adam Canavan. Adam, great tactics in the first half there to force the rule for 6 goal line dropouts.
Yeah, that's what we worked on at training all week. We just tried to keep the pressure on them all the time. We knew that the week off had really hurt them, and we're just trying to wear them out so that we can take advantage of it in the second half.
Did you ever think your team was going to score a try as well, because their defence was pretty good in the second half as well?
We know they're a great football side. We knew we had to keep peppering them, keep working away at them. We knew they'd eventually crack, and that's what they've done.
The players are pretty pleased with themselves. I guess everyone is pretty pleased.
They're a great bunch of blokes. They're great footballers within themselves, and they thoroughly deserve the success that's come their way today.
Congratulations on your win, Adam.
Thanks very much.
All right, and stay with us too on Win Television, because coming up in the weeks to come, you'll see the Illawarra Rugby Union Grand Final and also the Illawarra Premier League Soccer Grand Final. Until then, this is Jeff Phillips from Steeler Stadium on behalf of Alan Fitzgibbon saying goodbye, with Collegians winning 11 points to 2 over Thirroul.